Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving into AI today, but not just the surface level stuff, we're going deeper, looking at where AI is right now,
Mhm.
where it's heading, and how it's going to shake things up for all of us, especially the economy. We've got a ton of in-depth articles and reports to dig into from sources like Forbes Advisor, Transforma Insights, even Databricks, Coursera, and the ICAEW.
Yeah, it's a pretty complex landscape, and a lot of people are, well, a little unsure about what it all means.
For sure. So let's start big picture. AI is on a rocket ship, growing like crazy.
Oh, absolutely. The numbers are pretty mind-blowing. Markets, for example. They're predicting the AI market will hit, get this, $1.339 trillion by 2030. In Grandview Research, they have a slightly different take. They're saying $826.7 billion by 2030, but with a compound annual growth rate of almost 29%.
Well, wait, those numbers are huge. What does that kind of growth actually mean, like for the average person listening right now?
Well, it means AI is becoming more and more a part of our everyday lives. Think about how you get personalized recommendations, like on your streaming services, for music or movies, or even those spam filters that keep your inbox from exploding. That's all AI, and we're really just at the beginning of what's possible.
Right. It's not just hype either. Investors are pouring money into AI. Statista reported that by February this year, global AI funding had already hit $20 billion. dollars.
Yeah, that kind of investment shows you how much confidence there is in AI's potential.
Hmm.
And it's interesting to see how the US and China are leading the way, both in terms of investments and who's getting those patents. PwC and Statista have some good data on that.
And that brings us to, well, the elephant in the room,
Yeah.
jobs. Is AI going to create jobs, destroy them, or what? There's definitely some fear around that.
There's a lot of mixed feelings for sure. You've got the World Economic Forum predicting that AI will create 133 million new jobs by 2030. But then on the other hand, you have that Forbes survey. It found that more than 75% of people are worried about AI causing job losses.
Okay, so which is it? Are we heading for a job boom or, a robot apocalypse?
Well, the World Economic Forum data suggests it's not that simple. They found that over 65% of companies actually see AI as a job creator, not a destroyer. It's more about a shift in the types of jobs we'll be doing.
Right, so maybe not a robot apocalypse,
Yeah.
but definitely a career pivot for some people.
But
What kind of new jobs do we expect to see pop up?
think about areas like natural language processing or NLP. That's the tech that lets computers understand and respond to human language, like your voice assistants or those chatbots on websites.
So there's hope for writers and communicators after all.
Absolutely. And there's another good thing. These AI-related jobs, they come with a pretty nice paycheck. Coursera reports that AI professionals earn an average of $128,000.
Okay, that definitely makes those career pivots a bit more appealing.
Right. But it's not just about specific jobs. It's about how AI is changing how we work altogether. Take robotic process automation, or RPA, for example.
RPA, I've heard that term before. But honestly, not really sure what it means.
Imagine a digital worker who can handle all those boring, repetitive tasks like, data entry or invoice processing. That's RPA in a nutshell.
So like a super efficient intern that never gets tired. I like it. But
Yeah.
how does that fit into this whole AI impact on jobs thing?
Well, RPA, especially when you combine it with AI, it frees up human employees. They don't have to do those mundane tasks anymore. It lets them focus on more creative, strategic work. It's about helping people, not replacing them.
Okay, that's reassuring. But let's get a bit more technical for a minute.
Yeah.
What are the different types of AI we're talking about here? I hear terms like machine learning, deep learning. What do they actually mean?
That's a great question. It's easy to get lost in all the jargon, for sure. Let's start with machine learning, the basis of a lot of AI. Coursera and Transforma Insights have some really good explanations on the different types.
All right, so machine learning 101, what's the deal?
Well, it's basically teaching computers to learn from data without being programmed step by step. And there are a few ways to do this. Supervised learning, for example, is like giving a computer a set of labeled data and asking it to find patterns, kind of like showing a kid flashcards to learn the alphabet.
Okay, so supervised learning is all about pattern recognition.
Hmm.
What about the other types?
There's unsupervised learning, where the AI gets unlabeled data and has to figure out the patterns all on its own. It's more about finding those hidden structures and relationships in the data. Imagine you're sorting through a big box of Legos. No instructions, you're just trying to group similar pieces together.
Hmm, that's interesting. So it's like the AI is a detective putting together clues without knowing the answer in advance.
Exactly. Then you've got reinforcement learning. This is where it gets really interesting. In this one, the AI learns by interacting with an environment and gets feedback on what it does, kind of like training a dog with treats. Good behavior gets rewarded, bad behavior doesn't.
Ah, like trial and error, but for machines. And then there's deep learning, right? The rock star of the AI world.
Deep learning is where the magic happens. It uses these things called neural networks. They're complex structures inspired by, the human brain. And they analyze data. Transform It Insights highlights how it's changing things like autonomous vehicles, where you need a system that can learn from huge data sets and adapt to constantly changing situations.
So deep learning is the brains behind AI's most impressive feats. But what about generative AI? Everyone's talking about chat GPT and stuff like that. Where does that fit in?
Generative AI is definitely having a moment. Bloomberg, PwC, and McKinsey, they all point out its crazy growth and how it could totally change how we use AI. It can create text, code, even images, just from our prompts.
Wow, that's wild. Tools like ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and DLE, they're getting so much attention, and for good reason. Coursera and OpenAI go into some detail about what they can do, and the amount of money going into their development is mind-blowing.
It's like having this super versatile creative partner right there at your fingertips. But while these applications are pretty new, the ideas behind them have been around in the AI community for a while.
That makes sense. So we've covered the exciting stuff, AI's growth, how it's affecting jobs, and some pretty mind-bending technology. But let's be real, there are some concerns too, right? I mean, no technology is perfect, and AI is so powerful. What are some of the potential risks we should be thinking about?
You're right. We have to look at both sides of the coin. One of the big worries, especially in fields like finance, is the potential for what's called an AI winter.
An AI winter. Sounds kind of ominous, like a sci-fi dystopia. What does that even mean?
Transforma Insights explains this idea. It's about a period where you see less return on AI investment. Progress slows down because we haven't had those next big breakthroughs.
So like the hype bubble bursts, we hit a plateau, and all those big promises don't seem so achievable anymore.
Yeah, it's a valid concern. The history of AI has these cycles of boom and bust. We saw AI winters in the 1970s and again in the 80s and 90s, waves of optimism and investment, followed by disillusionment when things stalled. But each winter also led to new ideas and approaches, eventually leading to new breakthroughs.
So an AI winter isn't the end of AI, more like a necessary pause, a chance to recalibrate.
Exactly. And Transforma Insights suggests that the incredible progress we've seen in AI over the last decade, driven by deep learning and all that computing power, might be reaching its limits. We might need a new spark to kick off the next phase of innovation.
What kind of spark are we talking about? Are we waiting for some genius to have a eureka moment?
There are a few possibilities. Some people believe that all of this investment in deep learning could eventually lead to artificial general intelligence, or AGI. That's AI that can really think and learn like a human, able to solve a wide range of problems, not just specialized tasks.
AGI, that's like the holy grail of AI, right? Machines that can think for themselves. Sounds pretty far out there.
Yeah, it's mostly speculation at this point, but it definitely captures the imagination. Another potential game changer is quantum computing. It could completely change how we do computation, and that could give AI the boost it needs to overcome those limitations we talked about.
So we might be on the verge of an AI revolution, powered by a quantum leap in computing power. That's exciting, but also a little scary.
It is. But for now, Transforma Insights thinks we'll probably see steady progress. In the deep learning capabilities we already have, there's still room for improvement in hardware, and massive investments are going into data analysis. Plus, new AI platforms are making the tech more accessible to businesses. So we'll probably see more creative applications popping up.
So the 2020s might not be about one giant leap forward, but more about refining and integrating those powerful AI tools we already have.
That's a good way to put it. We'll see AI becoming more and more embedded in business processes, even if the tech itself doesn't have some dramatic overnight revolution.
All right, that makes sense. So we've talked about the potential downsides, the possibility of an AI winter, and the need for new breakthroughs. But let's not forget about all that positive potential we discussed. What are some of the most exciting areas where AI is already making a difference?
Oh, the potential applications are huge. But let's start with an industry that's undergoing a radical transformation thanks to AI. Healthcare.
Healthcare, okay. Am I picturing robot surgeons and AI doctors making diagnoses? Is that where we're headed?
Not quite yet, but AI is already playing a crucial role in diagnosis, treatment, even drug discovery. Imagine AI systems that can analyze medical images, like X-rays or scans, with even greater accuracy than human radiologists, detecting subtle signs of diseases like cancer at their earliest stages.
Wow, that could be a game changer. Early intervention, saving lives.
Absolutely. AI can also help personalize treatment plans. based on a patient's unique genetic makeup and medical history, leading to more effective and targeted therapies. And we're even seeing AI being used to develop entirely new drugs and therapies at a pace that was unimaginable just a few years ago.
So AI is speeding up medical breakthroughs
Mm.
and potentially making healthcare more personalized and effective. That's incredible. But what about those who don't have access to the latest high-tech hospitals?
That's where AI can play another vital role. AI-powered chatbots are being used to provide basic healthcare advice and support, making information and guidance more accessible, especially for people in remote areas or those who might not have regular access to healthcare professionals.
So it's like having a virtual nurse in your pocket, available 24/7. That could be transformative for healthcare equity.
It really could. And these advancements aren't limited to just healthcare. AI is transforming finance as well.
Right. We talked about AI's potential impact on the financial markets earlier, but what about the average person trying to manage their money? How is AI changing things for them?
Well, AI is changing how banks operate, how they assess risk, and how they interact with customers. We're already seeing AI being used to analyze massive amounts of financial data, to identify patterns and make investment recommendations.
So those AI stockbrokers we hear about, they're not just science fiction anymore.
They're becoming more sophisticated all the time, and AI-powered chatbots are being used to provide personalized financial advice and support, helping people make informed decisions about budgeting, saving, and investing.
It's like having a personal financial advisor, but without the expensive fees.
Exactly. And AI is also helping banks detect and prevent fraud more effectively, making our financial systems more secure. It's about making finance smarter and safer for everyone.
Okay, healthcare and finance, two huge sectors being impacted by AI. Any other industries we should be keeping an eye on?
Let's not forget about manufacturing. It's ripe for disruption.
Ah, yes. Robots on the assembly line. That's what most people think of when they hear AI in factories.
That's part of it, for sure. But AI is doing much more than just replacing human workers. It's being used to optimize production processes, improve quality control, even design new products.
So AI is making manufacturing more efficient, but also more innovative.
Precisely. We're seeing the rise of what's called smart manufacturing, where factories are becoming interconnected and data-driven thanks to AI. Machines can communicate with each other. Sensors collect real-time data on performance and efficiency. And AI analyzes all that data to identify bottlenecks and optimize workflows.
It sounds like the Industrial Revolution, but on a digital scale.
That's a great way to put it. And AI is a key driver of this fourth industrial revolution. It's about increasing productivity, reducing waste, and creating higher quality products.
So we've talked about AI's impact on these massive industries, but what about our everyday lives? Is AI just something happening in labs and factories? Or is it affecting how we live, work, and play?
AI is already a big part of our daily routines, even if we don't always realize it. Think about how you interact with technology every day.
Okay, give me some examples. How is AI already influencing my life without me even knowing it?
Well, your smartphone's virtual assistant, the recommendations you see on streaming services, the spam filters that keep your inbox clean, those are all powered by AI.
So AI is quietly working behind the scenes, making our lives a little bit easier and more personalized.
Exactly. And as AI keeps advancing, we can expect it to become even more seamlessly integrated into our daily routines.
Like what? Paint me a picture of an AI-powered future.
Think about self-driving cars. They could completely change transportation, making our commutes safer and more efficient. Or smart homes that can anticipate our needs, adjusting the temperature, lighting, even playing our favorite music before we even walk in the door.
It sounds like AI could touch every aspect of our lives, from the mundane to the extraordinary.
It really does, but as we've talked about, it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we choose to use it.
So as AI becomes more powerful and more a part of our lives, how do we make sure it's used responsibly and ethically? What can we do as individuals to shape the future of AI?
Those are the big questions, and they're really at the heart of this whole discussion about AI. The future of AI isn't predetermined. It's something we're all shaping together through our choices, our actions, and our willingness to have these conversations.
So it's not about humans versus machines, but about humans and machines working together to create a better future.
Exactly. We need to approach AI with a sense of wonder, recognizing its incredible potential, but also with a healthy dose of responsibility. If we do that, AI has the potential to unlock incredible opportunities and help us solve some of the world's biggest problems.
That's an inspiring thought. But what about the practicalities? Where can people go to learn more about AI, maybe even develop new skills to thrive in this AI-powered future.
That's where things get really interesting. One of the most exciting trends we're seeing is the democratization of AI. Platforms like Coursera and Databricks are making AI education and tools more accessible than ever.
So anyone can become an AI expert.
Well, it's not quite that simple, but the barriers to entry are definitely lower than they were just a few years ago. And that's a good thing. It means more people can contribute to shaping the future of AI.
So it's not just about the tech wizards and the data scientists anymore.
Exactly. We need diverse perspectives, people from all walks of life, to bring their unique insights and experiences to the table. We need artists, writers, philosophers, and ethicists to help us navigate the complex social and ethical implications of AI.
So it's about fostering a more inclusive AI ecosystem, one that reflects the values and aspirations of a wider range of voices.
Absolutely. And that's where organizations like UNESCO can play a vital role. They've established global standards for responsible AI, emphasizing the importance of human oversight, transparency, and accountability.
So it's not about letting AI run wild, but about setting ethical boundaries and making sure humans are still in the loop.
Precisely. And these guidelines are crucial because AI is touching more and more aspects of our lives. We need to be proactive in ensuring that it's developed and deployed in a way that benefits all of humanity.
That makes a lot of sense. But even with guidelines, there will always be gray areas, right? What happens when there's no easy answer?
That's where human judgment and ethical decision making come into play. AI can give us insights and recommendations, but ultimately it's up to us as humans to make the tough calls. We need to develop a strong ethical compass to guide us in these uncharted waters.
It's like we're explorers navigating a new world, armed with a map, but still facing unknown challenges.
That's a perfect analogy. And just like explorers of old, we need to be prepared to adapt, to learn from our mistakes, and to work together to overcome obstacles.
So we can't be afraid to venture into the unknown, but we need to do so with our eyes wide open.
Exactly. The potential rewards of AI are too great to be ignored, but we must proceed with caution, with humility, and with a deep respect for the power of this technology.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here today. We've explored the incredible potential of AI, the risks and challenges, and the importance of ethical considerations. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to bring up one more point that really caught my eye in our research. The World Economic Forum is predicting that digital technologies, including AI, will fuel significant job growth in over 65% of businesses they surveyed. But they also found that around 75% of businesses are planning to fully embrace e-commerce and digital trade in the coming years.
That's a fascinating connection. What's really interesting about this trend is the emphasis on integrating digital platforms and apps into all aspects of business operations. It's not just about selling products online, it's about transforming entire business models to be more agile, data-driven, and responsive to customer needs. And AI is playing a crucial role in this transformation.
So AI is both a driver and an enabler of this digital shift.
Exactly. It's driving the development of new digital tools and platforms, and it's also enabling businesses to make better use of the data they collect, leading to more personalized customer experiences, more efficient operations, and ultimately more successful businesses.
It sounds like we're on the cusp of a major transformation, both in how we work and how we live.
We are, and while there will undoubtedly be challenges along the way, the potential for positive change is immense.
Well, on that note of cautious optimism, we'll pause for now and return in part 2 of our AI deep dive to explore some of the most mind-blowing real-world applications of AI that are already shaping our world. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. All right, so in part 1, we talked about AI's rapid growth, the potential impact on jobs, and some, well, pretty mind-blowing tech, like those generative AI tools.
Right, like ChatGPT.
Exactly. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the concerns around AI, because no technology is perfect, and AI is so powerful it's kind of scary.
Oh, absolutely. There are definitely some valid concerns, and we need to address those head on. One of the big ones, especially in areas like finance, is the potential for an AI winter.
An AI winter. Sounds a bit chilly. What does that even mean?
Well, Transforma Insights goes into this concept. Basically, it refers to a period where investment in AI drops off. Progress slows down because we haven't made those next big breakthroughs.
So it's like the hype bubble bursts, and suddenly all those promises about AI's potential don't seem so realistic.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The history of AI has been marked by these cycles of boom and bust. We saw AI winters in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, periods of intense optimism and investment, followed by disillusionment when progress stalled.
So is an AI winter inevitable? Are we doomed to repeat those cycles?
Well, it's not necessarily inevitable, but Transforma Insights suggest that the massive progress we've seen in recent years, driven by deep learning and all that computing power, might be approaching its limits. We might need a new spark to ignite the next wave of innovation.
What kind of spark are we talking about?
Well, there are a few possibilities. Some experts believe that the sheer scale of investment in deep learning could eventually lead to artificial general intelligence, or AGI for short.
AGI, that's the idea of AI that can truly think like a human.
Right, exactly. AI that can solve a wide range of problems, not just specialized tasks.
That's both exciting and terrifying at the same time.
It is. But AGI is still largely theoretical. Another potential game changer is quantum computing. That could revolutionize computation as we know it and potentially give AI the boost it needs to overcome those limitations.
Quantum computing, now that's a whole other deep dive. But let's stick with AI for now.
Yeah.
So if AGI and quantum computing are still a ways off, what can we expect to see in the near future?
Well, Transformer Insights believes we'll likely see continued steady progress in existing deep learning capabilities. There's still plenty of room for improvement in hardware, and massive investments are pouring into data analysis. Plus, new AI platforms are making the technology more accessible to businesses.
So more evolution than revolution in the short term.
Oh,
Okay, so we've talked about the potential downsides, the possibility of an AI winter, and the need for new breakthroughs. But let's not forget about all that positive potential we discussed earlier. What are some of the areas where AI is already making a real difference?
well, we touched on healthcare and finance in part one,
Right, those are huge areas.
but AI is also making waves in other industries, like manufacturing, for instance.
Manufacturing. I guess I always picture robots on assembly lines when I think about AI in factories.
That's definitely part of it. But AI is doing so much more than just replacing human workers. It's being used to optimize production processes, improve quality control, even design new products.
So it's about making manufacturing more efficient and more innovative.
Precisely. We're seeing the rise of smart manufacturing, where factories are becoming interconnected and data-driven thanks to AI. Machines can communicate with each other, sensors collect real-time data, and AI analyzes all that data to optimize workflows.
It sounds like the Industrial Revolution, but on a digital scale.
That's a great analogy, and AI is a key driver of this fourth industrial revolution.
Okay, that's manufacturing. But what about our everyday lives? Is AI just something happening in factories and labs, or is it already affecting how we live, work, and play?
AI is already deeply integrated into our daily routines, even if we don't always realize it.
Give me some examples. How is AI already influencing my life without me even knowing it?
Think about your smartphone's virtual assistant, the personalized recommendations you get on streaming services, the spam filters that keep your inbox clean. Those are all powered by AI.
So AI is working behind the scenes, making our lives easier and more personalized.
Exactly. And as AI continues to evolve, we can expect even more seamless integration into our daily routines.
Like what? What does an AI-powered future look like?
Imagine self-driving cars that revolutionize transportation, smart homes that anticipate our needs, AI assistants that help us with complex tasks.
It sounds like AI has the potential to touch every aspect of our lives.
It does, but as we've discussed, it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we choose to use it.
Right, that's the key. So, as AI becomes more powerful and more integrated into our lives, how do we ensure that it's used responsibly and ethically? What role do we as individuals play in shaping the future of AI?
Those are the big questions, and they're at the heart of this whole conversation. The future of AI isn't predetermined, it's something we're all shaping together.
It's not about humans versus machines.
Not at all. It's about humans and machines working together to create a better future.
That's a great way to think about it.
We need to approach AI with a sense of wonder and responsibility, recognizing its incredible potential, but also being mindful of the risks.
I like that, wonder and responsibility.
If we can strike that balance, AI can help us unlock amazing opportunities and solve some of the world's most challenging problems.
That's an inspiring thought. But what about the practical side of things? Where can people go to learn more about AI and maybe even develop new skills to thrive in this AI-powered world?
That's where things get really exciting. We're seeing a democratization of AI. Platforms like Coursera and Databricks are making AI education and tools more accessible than ever before.
So anyone can become an AI expert.
It's not quite that simple, but the barriers to entry are definitely lower than they used to be. And that's a good thing because it means more people can participate in shaping the future of AI.
So it's not just for the tech geniuses anymore.
Exactly. We need people from all walks of life to bring their unique perspectives and experiences to the table. We need artists, writers, philosophers, ethicists. Everyone has a role to play.
It's about creating a more inclusive AI ecosystem.
Absolutely. And that's where organizations like UNESCO are doing important work. They've established global standards for responsible AI, emphasizing human oversight, transparency, and accountability.
So it's not about letting AI run wild, but about setting ethical boundaries
Exactly.
and making sure humans are still in control.
Right. These guidelines are crucial. AI is touching more and more aspects of our lives. We need to ensure that it's developed and deployed in a way that benefits all of humanity.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But even with guidelines, there will always be gray areas, right? What happens when there's no easy answer?
That's where human judgment and ethical decision-making come in. AI can provide insights and recommendations, but ultimately it's up to us as humans to make the tough calls.
We need to develop a strong ethical compass to guide us.
I agree.
It's like we're explorers navigating a new world,
That's a great way to put it.
armed with a map, but still facing unknown challenges.
Exactly. We need to be prepared to adapt, learn from our mistakes, and work together to overcome obstacles.
So we can't be afraid to venture into the unknown, but we need to do so with caution and awareness.
I think that's a great way to sum it up.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from the incredible potential of AI to the potential risks and challenges. But before we move on to part 3, where we'll look at some real-world applications of AI, I want to touch on one more point that really stood out in our research. The World Economic Forum predicts that digital technologies, including AI, will drive significant job growth in over 65% of the businesses they surveyed. But they also found that around 75% of businesses are planning to fully embrace e-commerce and digital trade in the coming years.
That's an interesting connection.
It is, isn't it?
What's particularly noteworthy is the focus on integrating digital platforms and apps into all aspects of business operations. It's not just about selling products online, it's about transforming entire business models to be more agile, data-driven, and responsive to customer needs.
And AI is playing a key role in this transformation.
Absolutely. It's both driving the development of new digital tools and enabling businesses to make better use of the data they collect, leading to more personalized experiences, more efficient operations, and ultimately more successful businesses.
So it seems like we're on the cusp of a major shift.
We are. And while there will be challenges, the potential for positive change is immense.
Well, on that note of cautious optimism, we'll take a short break. And we'll be back in part 3 to explore some of the most amazing real-world applications of AI that are already shaping our world. Welcome back to the deep dive. We spent the last 2 parts, kind of setting the stage, understanding the trends, the potential, even some of those concerns around AI. But now I'm ready for the fun stuff. Let's actually see AI in action. What are some of the most mind-blowing real-world applications? The things that are already shaping our world.
Well, we've touched on a few already, haven't we? Like AI in healthcare and finance.
Right.
Those are big ones. But let's go a bit deeper. How about we start with personalized experiences? They're becoming more and more common in our everyday lives.
Personalized experiences. You mean like those recommendations I get on Spotify or Netflix?
Exactly. Those recommendation engines, they use AI. They analyze your past behavior, your preferences, even what other users with similar tastes are into, to suggest content you're more likely to enjoy. It's all about making your digital experience, more relevant and engaging.
It's like having a digital concierge who knows my taste better than I do.
Uh-huh. In a way, yeah. But it goes beyond just entertainment. AI is being used to personalize all sorts of things, from online shopping to education. Imagine a world where your online learning is tailored to your learning style and how fast you learn, or where your shopping app suggests products based on, your unique needs and what you like.
Okay, that's pretty cool. It's like AI is helping us make sense of all the information and choices out there.
Exactly. It filters out the noise and shows you the stuff that's most likely to be useful and interesting to you.
So personalized experience is definitely cool. But what about something a bit more groundbreaking? Something that's really pushing the boundaries of what AI can do?
Hmm. Well, how about we talk about AI's role in tackling some of the world's biggest challenges, like, for example, climate change?
Climate change. Whoa, that's a big one. How can AI even help with something as complex as that?
Well, AI is being used in a lot of really innovative ways to address climate change. For example, optimizing energy grids, making them more efficient, and reducing our dependence on fossil fuels. developing smarter transportation systems, systems that reduce traffic and emissions, and even monitoring deforestation, tracking the movement of endangered species, helping us protect biodiversity and those precious ecosystems.
Wow, so AI is being used on multiple fronts to fight climate change. That's pretty encouraging. What about other areas where AI is being used for good?
Oh, there are so many examples. AI is being used to improve disaster response, analyzing data to predict natural disasters, and helping emergency responders coordinate relief efforts more effectively. It's being used to develop new agricultural techniques, increasing crop yields, reducing water usage,
Yeah,
helping to address food security issues, and it's even being used to personalize education, creating those adaptive learning platforms that cater to each student's individual needs.
it sounds like AI has the potential to really make a difference
It
in
does.
solving some of those really big problems facing humanity.
Absolutely.
But let's not forget about the fun stuff, too. What about AI's role in entertainment and creativity? We talked about generative AI tools earlier, but what are some of the cool things people are doing with them?
Oh, generative AI is opening up a whole new world for creative expression. You see musicians using it to compose original music, artists using it to create amazing visual art, writers using it to come up with stories. It's like having a creative partner that can push the boundaries of your imagination.
That's incredible. So AI is becoming a tool for artistic exploration and innovation.
Exactly. It's not about replacing human creativity, but about expanding the possibilities, pushing those boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, wow, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Uh,
We've talked about the potential of AI, the risks, the ethical concerns, but I think what's most exciting is that this is just the beginning. The world of AI is constantly changing, evolving, with new breakthroughs happening all the time.
That's what makes it so fascinating. It's a field full of surprises, and the possibilities really are limitless.
So as we wrap up, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to leave with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that the future of AI isn't something that's just happening to us. It's something we're all creating
Yeah.
together. The choices we make, the conversations we have, the actions we take, all of that will shape the world of AI and determine its impact on humanity.
That's a powerful thought. It's up to all of us to stay informed, to stay engaged, and to make sure AI is used for good. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope you've enjoyed exploring this fascinating and rapidly evolving field with us.